Namdari here. Thank you for watching. Please, begging you, like, subscribe, buttons below. Click, share, tell your friends. The more you do, the more I grow, the more I can bring you. Have a great day.
Talk some shit. It took some CBD. It's kicking in, so I'm ready to fucking go. Let's do it.
I'm drinking some wine right now, so
Yeah, all right.
Ready to go.
Here we go. Welcome everybody to another episode of Grind My Gears. I am Ashton. Thank you for joining me today. And this is I'm not doing nothing. Let's just fucking get right into this. Francis, Calvin, Reddick. What's up, guys? We're talking fucking football today. That's it. No politics, no bullshit. Just fucking large men running into each other and fucking
greatest sport ever.
Greatest sport ever. Besides mixed martial arts. You know, I like targeted head trauma.
Yeah. I'm with all that for sure.
What's up, boys? How you guys doing today?
I'm good, man. Good, real good. Happy to be here, man. I definitely appreciate you having me on for sure.
Anytime. And would let this be an example. Like, I haven't seen these guys in forever because life has took us all in different directions. But this is the power of sport right here. Sport brings people together.
For sure.
That's it. And if I make only one political statement, it's fucking government. Stop fucking around with these kids. Let them play their sports. Let them do that.
100%, 1000%. Yes, sir.
You're robbing those young men and women of going to college and pursuing an athletic career. They've lost 1 year, 2 years is suicide.
It's crazy. Like the mental toll that not having sports or having an outlet for athletics does on you is ridiculous. Like, I don't even play sports anymore, and the fact that I couldn't even get in the gym is crazy. So
I'm lucky where I can I have a lot of coaches and friends, so I've never had a problem getting into a gym throughout the whole thing, legally or illegally. I don't give a fuck. Doing whatever. But like that being like, that's people need to sport when all the, and I'll almost say one more shit and get the bullshit political shit out of sport too.
Yeah,
crossing over. Like, I love basketball and the NBA, but fucking hell, that last season made me never want to watch an NBA game again with all the bullshit. And I mean, everyone watched remember the season opener for the NFL last year? The Kansas City? And they did that thing, and I don't need to go into detail with that thing, but that's a whole nother 60 podcast with a bunch of people on that shit. And but like, just keep it out of there. Just let sport be sport. You see that Virginia Tech video from Saturday?
No. How was that?
So, like, Virginia Tech, they had 100,000 people in the stands, and they're just singing the song for the university. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That's what sport is about.
Yeah.
I seen it was Michigan. Michigan had a football game like last week, and it was like 90,000. I don't know, something like 90,000, whatever people. They're standing up, waving to like the children's hospital and stuff before the game.
Yeah,
it was beautiful for sure.
God bless America. All right. Let's get into it. NFL football is back. First game is on Thursday. Let's talk about that first game before we go and breaking down all these fucking teams. This is good.
I will say, like, I was very, very, very surprised by Dak. I didn't think he would be that explosive, and I didn't think they would throw the ball 58 times or whatever. That's crazy. Like, the fact that they threw the ball that much times, just coming off of a full year being out, having Zeke in your backfield, and you're throwing the ball that much times. Like, either you don't respect Zeke, or you respect Tampa Bay's front seven way too much.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Dak looked fantastic. He didn't even look like man, them's ankle snap.
Yeah.
Snap. Helmet went through his fucking leg, and he didn't skip a beat. That was the most impressive part about
he didn't do any
that game.
training camp.
I think that the Dak thing didn't really surprise me because he was doing so good last year. Like, I get the injury and stuff like that, but it didn't surprise me. What surprised me was their defense and how good their defense was.
It's because they had a shitty 30 ranked defense last year.
Yeah,
They
their
had,
defense looked
they had
like
4 takeaways. Yeah,
it looked real good. I don't know if they'll be able to do it the whole season, but for the first game against Tom Brady, who clearly is the GOAT, they
Yeah.
looked really good.
And I
So that
thought
was
that
like a
game.
sign
I
for
thought
me.
that game. I thought Dallas played a better game. I just thought.
100%. They
Yeah.
should have won the game. They're Greg Zerline fucked them up. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he missed extra point, he missed a 30-yarder and like the 60-yarder, like okay, whatever. That's a tough kick. But the 30-yarder and the
Extra point. That's
extra
4 points.
point, that's 4 points. Yeah, that's the game right there.
Yep.
But like we'll get into that when we break down the division. But I see Dallas easily coming out of that division after that first game.
I will agree. Like prior to that game, I thought Washington had that division in the bag. But looking at that game, I'm like, okay, well, if Dak is playing like that against Tampa Bay's front seven, and their front seven is really good, mind you, Washington's front seven is really good as well.
Yeah.
But if Dak is playing like that against Tampa Bay's front seven, they got all the weapons, man. So they should win that division. But yeah, we'll get to that for sure.
All right, let's do AFC North first because we don't give a fuck about any other teams. So
Fuck the Steelers. Say it now.
Baltimore, obviously, big in the headlines this past week. Like, as Baltimore fans, I'm going to be unbiased and just say it's a fucked up situation to happen before the first game of the year. So,
like crazy.
For those listening who don't know the sequence of events, we have J.K. Dobbins tears his ACL in the preseason.
Well, even before that, we lost freaking LJ Fort before that.
Yes, LJ Fort. Then you had J.K. Dobbins. And then you have who went down now? Justice Hill went down, the backup.
Achilles. Yeah, Achilles.
Or the Achilles, what I did last year. And then yesterday, Marcus Peters and freaking Gus Edwards, the
back-to-back plays. That's
gone. ACL. So they go out and sign Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray,
Devontae Freeman,
and some other dude. And
yes.
Here we are. So let's. What do you guys think? Where are we in this with the Ravens now?
I'll be honest. Looking at the glass half full, if there are any two position groups on our team where I think on the Ravens where I think they can withstand injury, it's the running back group and their DBs. We have like top to bottom, we have, if not the best DB group, we have top 3 DB group in the league, right?
Yeah.
Marcus Peters is a huge part of that, huge part. Like in the last 5 years, he's led the league in picks. But I feel comfortable in having Young back. Like he missed 2 years. He had a back injury. He had a knee injury. We got Jimmy Smith. Like we got Marlon Humphreys, who's it was an All Pro as well. So
Jimmy Smith stay healthy. Like this guy's been injured so much.
Well, injuries is a part of the game, as we see, right? So, if guys can stay healthy, I'm comfortable. We do need to sign another cornerback, I agree, or trade for a cornerback, I agree. But if any position group where I'm like, okay, you know what? I have some faith in our roster, it's the DBs and the running back. Because if we remember, last year, Lamar was 6th in rushing, so he's going to be around 1,000 yards or 900 yards or whatever you want to call it this year again. They're going to throw the ball. They're looking to throw the ball again. So, do I think we're a division winner this year? Unfortunately, not due to the injuries. It's just at some point, it's just too much injuries to kind of overcome. But I think we're second in the AFC North.
Well,
who's first? Who do you got first?
I got Cleveland. They're just, even though their secondary, their secondary is all new. They got the guys from the Rams. It's all new guys. And then they got back Denzel Ward, who's a really good corner. Yeah, he's a really good corner. But I got Cleveland. Their only weak spot on that defense is their linebackers. Other than that, they're stacked everywhere on that defense.
The only thing I would say to that, sorry, Cal. The only thing I would say to that is, okay, so we have the Ravens in this situation at the start of the season. They haven't even played a fucking game yet. Now, I want to rewind not even 12 months ago where we had what 20, 25 guys on the COVID list that couldn't play.
Yeah.
And we had that situation for 6
and we had big injuries too.
Weeks plus the injuries with
big injuries. We got Ronnie Stanley, Boyle,
and we still won more than 12 games and made it to the second round of the playoffs.
The only thing I'll say with that is that like losing guys on your like losing blockers on your offensive line, whatever, is not as detrimental with a guy like Lamar because he can make magic out of bullshit, right? So
yeah, but only so much, man, because teams are catching up to what Lamar's doing.
For sure, like 100%. But you can't catch up. Like 4-3 is 4-3.
O-line this year, so he has a legit Pro Bowl
legit O-line.
So
I think
sure.
Lamar
going to tear it up even more.
Lamar's going to have to. He's going to have to pass more this year. I don't think that he's going to be able to. I just feel that he's not going to be able to rely on his speed so much this year as the last 2 years. I think he's going to have to pass more, and I honestly he doesn't. He's not right now. When I look at him, he's not worth $40 million to me. He really needs to with the weapons that he has now. It's like you got to pass more. Stop relying on your run so much. Pass, to other receivers, not just Andrews, because Andrews is like his prime receiver, and everyone's catching on now. You take away that tight end, what are you really doing?
I will agree with the point that in order for the Ravens to win a Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson has to become more consistent throwing the ball outside the numbers. I will agree with that. That is period. And there are a lot of people, like, look at Tom Brady. Like, he's been successful for years for throwing it to Gronk. So, like, having a reliable tight end, like, you look at Cowboys with Jason Witten, like, having a reliable tight end is important to your offense. But it's not, I don't put it only on Lamar. Like, Hollywood got to stay healthy. Hollywood got to get open. Like, Hollywood his only threat right now is going over the top. And if he's not going over the top, can he separate from DBs? And he hasn't shown that last year. Adding Bateman, adding Sammy Watkins should help in that. But I will say this: like, teams are getting. Hold on, sorry. Let me finish this. Teams are catching up to Lamar, and that's 100%. Like, we've seen in the last 2 playoffs, they're doing that. But being like a college, like being a college coach, like running 4-3 is 4-3. Like, you can't, unless Lamar gets hurt.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much guys you put in the box, how much corners you put in the box, 4-3 is 4-3. Know what I mean? Like,
okay, like, here's the thing, though. Everyone keeps saying Lamar's got to be a better passer, and I agree he's got to be a better passer for the Ravens to make it to the AFC Championship this year. But what I'm kind of suspecting is people are expecting him to stay within the box, stay in the numbers, and be a pocket passer, which is not what Lamar Jackson fucking does. He is a play action quarterback. And when he doesn't have a fucking option open, he takes off and runs down the field.
Yep.
Now, everyone will say, well, he's got to throw the ball down. Well, fuck it. He made so many people look stupid last year with his legs.
Yeah.
The guy in the Cleveland game had to go take a shit. I don't care what anyone says. He had to go.
He did. 100% he did.
And definitely he came back out and fucking rocked them. Okay?
Yeah.
So this misconception that he has to stay there and become this pocket present.
No, doesn't have to do that.
It's got to be, if they're going to take him to the next level, I think
come playoff time, he's going to have to. Because the playoffs,
you think so?
There's different beasts when you hit the playoffs. Like, we've seen teams who look, they look good, but then when they hit the playoff, it's like, it's one and done. You don't win, you're out, and you feel shitty. So you got guys who are going 100%. And Lamar's going to have to stay in the pocket at times come playoff time. And I don't believe that he can. And this is why he's not going to the Super Bowl. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady
Don't say that.
stays in the pocket and he swings it.
David just died. A part of
Swings
part of
it.
this.
Right? Lamar
I
needs,
think. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Lamar, even if it's like an extra 500 yards that he's throwing for, he needs to be a little bit more consistent with what he's doing and not depend. Look again. Russell Wilson is a perfect example. He can use his legs, but he can stay in the pocket and throw. He has a Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
If Lamar can kind of be like Wilson,
But my rebuttal to that was Russell Wilson Super Bowl because of Russell Wilson?
I agree with you because
It was not.
they had a great team that
Their defense
Yeah.
was Legion of Boom was probably, if not, people were arguing that they were on the same level as the 2000 Ravens. Like their defense was Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas. They had so many studs on that defense. And then you had Marshawn Lynch, who was beast mode. Like Russell Wilson, all you have to do was not turn the ball over. So to say that, like, oh, Russell Wilson was a great quarterback and he led them to Super Bowl, I don't think that's accurate. Same thing with Tom Brady. Like his first two Super Bowls, he was on a stacked team with Rob Ninkovich. Like the team was stacked. So like you got to have pieces around you in order to be
defense
a
wins
Super Bowl team.
championships.
Yeah,
For sure.
We know this.
100%, for sure.
So
For sure.
We know this. But the quarterback, but guess what? The quarterback has his
Has to
ball,
make enough throws.
has his hands on the ball 100% of the time. He's
ba-
always touching
basically
the
what
ball.
it boils down to is Lamar is a play action quarterback.
Yep.
But in order for if the Ravens have any fucking chance of getting beyond the second round, because they will get the playoffs, I think. At
I
least.
think so, for sure. I think so.
Oh yeah.
But
I think so.
if they have any
Really.
chance of getting past the second round, Lamar's gonna have to sit in that pocket, find Hollywood,
And make some throws, for sure.
Well,
1000%. I've watched a few interviews this year with like Greg Roman and like Coach Harbaugh, and like they both said that their goal this year is to put Lamar under center. So if you know like football, like being under center, like that changes a lot of stuff because now you're able to do more out of the play action. You're able to do more like for like short intermediate routes. Whereas before Lamar was primarily in the pistol or in shotgun, and teams can defend you more because your running threat is not all that potent. Your throwing is not all that potent because you're just it's like a two or three step drop. Sorry, so him being under center is going to do a lot for this team if they want to do well in the passing.
So evaluating the North, then, so we have the Ravens who are, banged up before even the season even starts. David, what do you think Cleveland's going to take that division? What do you think, Calvin? You think?
Oh no, I'm picking Baltimore to take the division.
Yeah, you still think?
I still think that Baltimore is going to take the division.
I have to agree with Calvin.
I hope so. With every fiber in me, I hope so because I hate the Steelers and I hate Steelers fans, but even more so, I hate Browns because they haven't done nothing, like nothing, and like the fact that like they're so confident and stuff.
Here's the reason I picked Baltimore. Here's the reason I picked Baltimore because they have a history of being just a gritty team. That's just the way they are and the way the organization was built. And now we look at the last 3 seasons. You have that amazing season that you almost go undefeated, and then you lose to Henry in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that was
literally
tough.
Everyone was calling for them to win the fucking championship that year. It was that good. That was Lamar's MVP year. You have last year.
I almost broke my TV that year.
You have last year that I don't care what anyone says. They got hit really fucking hard. Half their roster was out with COVID, right?
Yeah.
I had fucking COVID. It beats on you. So like they came back after that. Even Lamar played a fucking great game his first game back after COVID.
Yeah.
Right? And like
I had the injuries too last year. We had crucial injuries last year too. Injuries.
And they got to the second round. So I think straight up, because this has all happened at the start of the season, they're going to deal with it. There's never been a management issue. Fuck the rest of the teams. The Ravens Ravens will take that division. I still think they have the best management in that division.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
They're going to either make a trade if need be, and they've
Hope so.
already figured it out. That's
Yeah.
all.
If we can, like, because I think even though we can't really put a lot of pressure on Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman and those guys, like whatever they give us, they give us. But I think our running game will be enough. My only concern is, as Ashley said, like if we can make a trade to acquire like a starting cornerback, like there's a guy from Miami who's not happy. There's
Yep.
So like if we can acquire a starting cornerback for we have like 8 draft picks next year, so we can
Keep in mind that how we acquired Peters, how Baltimore acquired Peters
for a fifth. Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey, right?
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if they wait till like week 8 till you have some disgruntled player, possibly Deshaun Watson, who we're going to get to, and whoever takes in Deshaun Watson has to release or let somebody go at a very, very shorter price. You know what I mean? To save some cap space. So that's what I think would happen there.
We'll be fine. Yeah, we'll still be a 10-11 win team. We'll be fine. The only thing is that the end of our schedule is brutal.
Yes. 100%.
It's brutal. Like the last 7 games, holy shit. We play Cleveland twice, Pittsburgh twice, we play Green Bay and the Rams in the last 7 games. Like that's brutal.
Yeah.
So,
so let's talk about the fucking elephant in the room, the stupid Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you project them doing this year?
Defensively, they'll be
TJ, right?
they just extended TJ. Yeah, so defensively, they'll be fine defensively. Like they got Minka Fitzpatrick, who I'm pissed off we didn't go after, but they got Fitzpatrick. Like them losing. No, was it? Yeah, they lost Bud Dupree.
Yeah.
So that will hurt them. But defensively, I think they'll be still great. Like they're still a great defense. Offensively is where they're gonna struggle, in my opinion. I think Ben is not gonna do anything with them.
Last year I thought he was done last year.
Done, yeah, exactly.
He was crying on the field like it was his last game. But
they don't have no running back. They lost corner to Arizona.
Yeah, and
so
you think they're just too depleted at this point?
Yeah, they'll be a competitive 3rd place team. Like they'll beat some teams who they shouldn't beat, and then they'll have some games where Ben throws 3 picks, and then they lose to like a Jacksonville or something. Like they'll be like a 500 team.
Yeah. Well, they might squeak in at a wild card. They have the tendency to do that.
Maybe. I mean, it's tough because the wild cards are going to be tough. Like Colts could be a wild card. Chargers can be a wild card. It's tough.
The Colts are an interesting team because even last year they flew right under the radar, and they were actually really, really good team.
They're a really really deep team for sure. Like you look at their roster, they got like 6 or 7 Pro Bowlers on that roster, or could be Pro Bowlers. Like their offensive tackle, their linebacker, like they're a really good team. And honestly, all is going to come down to which Carson Wentz is there. That's what it come down to because
Carson Wentz. I don't understand what the fascination with this guy was ever. It was
yeah.
I never thought he was a good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with him is that like he was very Andrew Luck-esque, and what I mean by that is like he was a very hard to bring down. He's a hard to bring down quarterback. He's a big, stocky guy, hard to bring down, kind of mobile. He was at a small school, so he had like all the tangibles that you kind of want from like a quarterback like that, but he's just never been able to stay healthy. his mental is very, very weak, as we've seen with him and
Those,
Nick
yeah,
Foles.
I don't. So I don't see them being competitive with him. With Philip Rivers, yes, 100%. I just don't see him being competitive. Who's the backup?
I don't know.
Like
They had
Jacoby, right?
Jacoby. Yeah. They had Jacoby there. I'm not sure if he's still there or not, but I don't know. Like their whole season is on Carson Wentz
Yes, 100%.
because they got Go ahead.
What do we think of? Let's go on to Cincinnati. What do we think of Cincinnati?
It's like they're gonna be they're a bottom feeder team in the AFC North.
Yeah.
But I like their pieces. Them adding Jamar Chase, he's a very, very good wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow, before he got hurt, he was playing great.
Well, they have Tyler Boyd too, and
Boyd, they got Boyd. Yep,
what's the other?
that fucker who friggin' ended our season 2 years ago. Ended our season with that bullshit 4th and 16, whatever it was.
Yeah, well, that was when Vontaze Burfict was still.
Yeah, that bullshit. That was some bullshit. But yeah.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals could potentially be the 6th seed this year. I really do.
I don't think they have enough on the defensive end.
I know that, but Joe Burrow's fucking good, and
he's amazing.
I think if his knee is fine, we'll see in week 1 if his knee is fine. I think if his knee is fine, you're looking at they could quite easily be 3rd in the North and squeaking, because the North sometimes has 3 teams going into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I mean we did last year, no? Was it last year yet?
Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
It was last year, yeah, and us. Yeah, it was us. It was last year.
So then let's move on let's go to the East, because I think that's an interesting one.
Very interesting, yeah.
So Buffalo obviously is the front runner in the division. The Ravens last year, and it was a good game for them. I
think we would, honestly, if Lamar didn't get hurt, like I'll keep saying this for as long as, if Lamar didn't get hurt in the 3rd quarter, I think he would have came back.
Yeah.
I honestly think he would have came back.
Momentum in that game.
Yeah.
I agree, but at the same time, I give credit where credit due. They won the fucking game. Now they did look good against the Chiefs, in my opinion. They played competitively, but they didn't look good like a Super Bowl contending team.
No.
That being said, they have almost their whole roster back. I'm pretty
sure. They have like 20 of 22 starters. Yep.
And my only problem with them, I think they would win that division again. I 100% think they win the division.
Yeah.
I think where it goes falter is where this politics crosses back into sport, because Cole Beasley, who's a leader on the team, is very vocal about certain things. And I wonder if it will create some sort of division between management going forward. And, credit to Cole for standing up for himself with all that. But I don't give a shit about that right now. I'm fucking I'm feeling good on CBD, and I'm talking football. So fuck. But I can only see the only way they lose that division is if they lose it themselves. If they fuck up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think.
For sure. I mean, I like Miami. I like what they've done there. The defense is stout. Offensively, they just picked up who's the wide receiver that they had from Alabama. What's his name? Yeah, they picked up like what was it? Yeah, they picked up a receiver from Alabama. Anyways, but like their wideout group is really good. Tua is still undecided on him to kind of see what he's gonna do.
I think he was a bust.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll go ahead and say bust yet, because he's only really played like half the year, and what they did last year with Fitzpatrick and him, like that, like you're not gonna know what Tua is when like keeping him in for a little bit and then putting in Fitzpatrick. It's like you're not gonna know what he is. So I think this year we'll see what he is, but I agree. Like I don't think he's all, because he's not that accurate. He's not that mobile. Like what is he?
What I would also say there too is Miami was rumored to be looking for Deshaun Watson. So that tells me they kind of have one foot out the door.
No confidence already. Yeah, they have no confidence in him yet.
the deal hasn't been done, but I wouldn't be surprised if the deal happens within the first couple games. So I almost kind of like Fitzpatrick back there. I wish they kept him.
I like I like Fitz for the simple fact that he, as a quarterback, as leader of your team, you need to kind of your guys have to believe in you.
Yeah.
Right. Regardless if you're good or bad, it doesn't matter. Like you look at Nick Foles, like the on that run, the Eagles believed in him.
Yeah.
And we've seen him after that, like him in Jacksonville, like he's flamed out. Like he's not a great quarterback, but this team believed in him and they rallied in him. Tua could very well be a decent quarterback. He could be a starting quarterback, but the organization doesn't believe in him. His teammates, by default, don't believe in him. So it's like he's kind of fighting an uphill battle, and he's not going to win that battle because nobody is kind of pulling for him. He doesn't have a veteran leadership who's saying, "Oh, let's rock with this guy." So he's kind of his time is just numbered. I think if Deshaun Watson didn't have any of this legal stuff going on, he'd be a Miami Dolphin last week.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I put Miami almost at the bottom of the division in this year. I think it's New England is hard to say how they're going to do. Like I'm writing off the Jets right now.
Yeah, Jets are done. The Jets are 4-1.
We're not even going to talk about the Jets. There's nothing good about the Jets. But New England,
like
I see as
they're tricky.
They're a tricky team. They spent a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, and they picked up fucking Judon. I'm pissed off. He fucking left to go to New England, but
you knew that
whatever.
You knew that was gonna happen.
I knew he was gonna leave just because we didn't have enough money to retain him, and especially we're trying to keep like the priorities were Mark Andrews, Lamar, Ronnie Stanley. Like those are priorities. Like you know that already. So I knew Judon was gonna get the short end of the stick. But I think he's going to fucking New England. Anyways,
how many Ravens defensive players in the past who have been
gone to New England
good have gone to a new team because they got more money and then stunk like shit? I'm gonna give you
CJ fucking Mosley.
CJ Mosley.
He's number one. Like when he left, I was so fucking mad, and he's gone to fucking Jets and done shit all.
These guys, I'm glad they chased the money. I'm glad they got paid. But the only reason you were a fucking star was because you were playing under the system of the Ravens. And so when they all went to different teams, there's so many examples throughout Ravens history. They all went to different teams and
took money,
especially after they won the Super Bowl. All those McClain, all those guys left the team, went other, and then they stunk it up. Okay, so I'm not like fuck Judon. Like
yes,
like,
I agree 100%. I agree.
I didn't think he was worth the money. And
no.
He had a suspect year after that. So
he had the year before he had like 9 sacks, so he was like trending upwards.
Yes.
And then last year he kind of just hit a wall, and that's why we have to go out and go pick up Ngakoue, because we weren't getting any pressure on quarterbacks and stuff. Like it's so tough. Like over the last 2 years, Ravens have led the league in blitzing because their D-line just can't get pressure.
Yeah. But going back to the Patriots, I think they can easily possibly squeak into the playoffs.
I think so for sure.
As a first seed too, I would say that they could possibly compete with Buffalo.
If you look at it, like they had like 10 players last year, 10 starters last year.
Yeah.
Choose to not play because of the whole COVID stuff, and they're all back this year. So they're a competitive team. So they're going to be in there.
And them letting go of Cam could possibly be a beneficial thing for them too, because I know that he's a strong personality for that kind of locker room that Bill Belichick does run. So they might have dodged a bullet with Cam. I think, as much as I do like his I actually like he's the only fucking guy that looks like a douchebag at a press conference. But you're like, I kind of want to dress like that douchebag. You know what I mean?
Like I get it. Like Mac Jones, he fits what New England wants to do because he's a precision quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over a lot and he makes the right read. The
Yeah.
problem with Mac Jones, I believe, that they're going to run into is that he's not dynamic. So if you can apply pressure and you can cover, because they don't have any wide receivers who are going to exploit you on the outside. Like any of their big gains are going to be with their tight end group because they spent like $100 million on their tight ends that they got this year. Like
Hunter Henry and somebody else, right? Who they else?
yeah,
Johnny Smith.
Smith. Yeah. So any like those that's going to be their bread and butter. Like they're going to go right back to what they had when they had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. You're going to have two tight end sets. There's in the block and then get out like so that's going to be their big plays. And if you can manage to kind of cover decent enough on the outside, I think they're going to run those problems. Guys, Mac Jones is not athletic. He's not going to do anything to. He's not like a second read guy. He's just going to go through, find the first read, get the ball out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I think New England is
sleeper team.
They're a sleeper. I have them anywhere between 8 and 11 wins.
Yeah,
that's where I have them, 8 and 11.
So we're going to the West. So fuck the West, man. They have it's a hard division to just. It's an easy division to pass over. Sorry, because Kansas City is so fucking dominant. And I look at that division. You got Kansas City, Denver, Las Vegas, and LA Chargers. I don't see any of those teams taking that from Kansas City, like straight up.
No, Kansas City is going to win that division. It's just about who else can do well. Denver has a really fucking good defense.
Yes.
Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, like they're really good defensively. And I think they know they're really good defensively because they're choosing to start Teddy.
Yes.
So that means that they all they need Teddy to do is just not turn the ball over, make a good read, make a good pass. Like move the chain, don't turn the ball over because your defense is going to be there. So like they're all be very reminiscent of the Ravens, how the Ravens played with like Joe Flacco, and like it was just like Joe Flacco.
They don't have enough. They just don't. No, they don't have enough to win that division.
Offensively,
the best. I mean, they get Cortland Sutton back after he tore his ACL. He's a really damn good receiver. So I mean, if Teddy can find Cortland routinely, but I don't see them doing anything. To be honest with you,
they're not beating Kansas City.
No, they won't beat Kansas City, and I mean, Las Vegas, they're an interesting team.
They are. They got talent all over the place.
Yeah.
Like you look all over the roster. They got friggin' Casey Haywood corner. They got fucking Henry Ruggs. They got Jacobs. They got talent all over that roster.
And they got Kenyon Drake now too.
Drake, yeah. They got like Derek Carr is like a top 12 quarterback. They got talent all over that.
I don't. That's where I beg to differ. Derek Carr.
You don't think so?
No.
Top 12. Oh my goodness! Like he's like his numbers are like Dak-esque. He's just not a winner.
Numbers are one thing, but he's just not the guy to run that offense. That is a tradition. Raiders offense is a traditional kind of like what the Ravens do. Run the ball down your fucking mouth and have some legit wideout that fucking
on the outside.
Rice and Tim Brown, they fucking just
they go
the ball up, they go get it on a fucking post. Hail Mary, they'll go get
Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is fucking. He's fast as shit. Like he's
what's
real.
His name at tight end? Waller, who's
ex-Raven.
Yeah, but Waller is a legitimate. I think this could be his breakout year.
He breakout year. He's right now. He's a top
5.
Top easily top 5. I'll argue top 3.
I would
argue top 3 tight end.
The top of the food.
No, he's not top. Top is fucking Kelsey. Kelsey's the best tight end, and then after him, it's
If Waller can get Las Vegas into the playoffs.
No, I mean sure if you can do that, but
he's better.
Kelsey,
better.
I don't think so.
Better.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so, man. No, I don't think so. Kelsey's just
speed. If he can fucking block and he can take them down the field on a whole bunch of plays, he is better than Kelsey.
All right, well, I'll argue this. I'll argue this. You have 4 tight ends in the league who can be interchangeable depending on system and how they do. But like you look at Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, and I believe Mark Andrews is in that group.
Yes, I think
You
so.
have you have those 4 tight ends, and I believe any given system, any given day, they're interchangeable.
I guess you're right. I think that I just like Waller. I think he's a stud.
No, he's good. He's good. No, for sure, he's
I
good.
don't think Derek Carr is the guy to give him the ball down the field where it needs to be all the time, right? Because you look at let's look at Tony Gonzalez when he was
Yep.
right.
Mhm.
He had the right quarterbacks that threw him the fucking ball all the time. That's the reason he was so successful at that position, one of the best of all time. This is not the right connection for him. He needs. I would say they should have if he can get a Deshaun Watson. If I don't
Anybody with Deshaun Watson is going to be a great
but
player.
Deshaun
Like,
Watson would throw him the ball. That's why
for sure.
That's why Hopkins developed into the elite receiver he did. Because friggin' Watson just launched the fucking ball up and Hopkins
Gave him a chance to get it. Yeah.
to get it. Whereas Derek Carr doesn't make those decisions. So
But to his credit, he had an interview like I want to say a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where he said verbatim that he's gonna throw it up and whoever gets it gets it. So he's taking into like so what you're saying is accurate. He's listening to that because he said it. I don't know. It was on some podcast, some radio show where he's like he's gonna give his guys a chance to go get it. So he's like he's one-on-one coverage, he's throwing it up to them, and whoever gets it gets it. So like
I don't think he gets it done. I think the fucking Chargers are the number 2 team in that. I think they are.
that quarterback is
I think
he's
Justin
special.
Herbert's legit.
Yeah, he's special. Yeah, he's special.
I think he reminds me of a cross between a young Eli Manning and Philip Rivers when they were
Yeah,
in
he's
the league together.
he's special, man.
Got the speed and the mobility. Kind of Philip had.
And he launches that shit. He could throw it like
Yes.
he could throw that shit like 67 yards easily. Like, he launches that shit. So
And the
he's special.
Chargers have really good running back who's underrated in Eckler.
Yeah.
If anybody plays fantasy, Eckler's a fucking moneymaker.
Yeah. And they got friggin' their whiteout. Friggin' Allen.
Yeah. Keenan Allen.
He's solid too. So like they have all and their defense is not bad. Like they have all the pieces. All the pieces you need is just will it be enough? Because Kansas City is gonna go fucking 14-3. Like they're gonna be that this year. That. So it's just about do other teams have enough to make it? That's the question.
Basically, I think the Chargers could be a 7 team. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can be, where you're going down to the last 5 weeks of the season and you're like, oh shit, they can still make
it's tight. Yeah.
I think they can be one of those teams. And then, in the next year, in the next offseason, they I think they need to just make one big deal.
Yeah.
A big trade, either defensively or offensively, and bring in a statement maker other than to help out Herbert. I think going forward, not this year, but in the next or the season before, you could look at the Chargers being a top 4 team in the AFC easily. I mean,
I don't know about top 4 because as long as Patrick Mahomes is on Kansas City, they're going to be a threat to win the division every single year.
I disagree. I think Patrick Mahomes, I fucking love him. I think he's great. No hating on the guy. I think he doesn't make it another 4 seasons without having a major injury. I don't think it.
Maybe. I don't know. He takes some hits.
He has been Kansas City, as great as they are, and it's not because of their fucking O-line.
No.
It's not. He's getting hit as big as a stud as he is. I'm disappointed in Kansas City's management for not protecting him a lot more. For the amount of fucking money they put into him, they have a shit O-line, and it was evident in the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, for sure. But they retooled that shit because we fucking gave them Orlando Brown, which fuck him. But
same scenario as the defense. Let him go. He's not going to be as successful there. Not going to be as successful.
Fuck him, man.
With Baltimore, it's only successful within the team. There's only
so
system.
many players within the
They
system.
got another O line guy from Tooney. Was it Tooney? No, was it Tooney? They got who's the other guy they got? They got another like a Pro Bowl O line guy.
Okay.
I'm not who they got. They got somebody else. They got Orlando Brown and somebody else on the other side.
Well, maybe they'll protect him. If they protect him, then sure. But
Yeah,
I like the amount of
bad.
beatings that guy takes. If he makes it out
I
of the
agree.
next 2 seasons
A
unscathed,
lot of big injury.
surprised. That's why I say LA Chargers top 4 because Herbert's a tough kid. I think he's like physically.
He's big.
I think he's tougher and can take more punishment than Mahomes.
He's big. Yeah, he's big. He's for sure.
Mahomes gets hit. He gets hit. There was like that one hit last year where his neck whipped back. Like I'm a fucking professional MMA fighter. When the neck whipped back, like, that motherfucker has a concussion.
Concussion. Yeah.
Right, and he played the next game. He played with a concussion. That's like the whole. That's
For sure.
The whole NFL concussion problem is because of that right there. There's no way that he was legitly not concussed from that blow. Like
For sure.
I knock people out. I've not, and if heads whip, they have a concussion. So
Yeah.
he's severely compromised, I think. And that's why I say LA, LA in the next 2 years because I just don't think, unless they miraculously protect that kid, he's gonna get fucked up.
And like, I agree, but like I don't know, like it's so crazy how they've been able to kind of build that team because like Andy Reid is probably one of the best play designers, play callers. Like, and he's been that way since Philadelphia with like T.O. and McNabb and all those guys. And like Shady McCoy and all those guys. But having Tyree, like you have arguably a top 3 quarterback, a top 3 receiver,
Jamaican sprinter. Like fucking Tyreek Hill is that fast.
Well, he only beat him in 40. After that, he's done. After that,
no. Like I mean, like when you play Madden, like it's you just throw the balls at Tyreek Hill because his character is so
yes.
Right? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So like,
Sure.
I'm not questioning Mahomes. Like I don't want it to seem like I'm hating Mahomes and I'm like, but I question as if his success in his early career was really because of his full football capability or the weapons that they
around him. For sure, weapons.
Right.
The weapons he's had, like the weapons, like nobody else has weapons. Nobody else has a top 3 receiver, a top 3 tight end. Friggin' like all of their wide receivers ran a 4-4 under. Yeah, Sammy Watkins. They had Hardman.
They had the fastest wide receiver group
easily. Period. Easily. And then you had Shady McCoy. You had friggin' who they have last year? They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They friggin'
Hilaire's really good. I like Helaire.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
reminds me a bit of a Ray Rice kind of runner, like the way he can lower the fucking shoulder, and that's why I think he got hurt towards the end of the last year. He was banged up a lot, but he can lower the shoulder and hit the hole. But he's got some shake and bake on him and can make.
Yeah,
I think he's a sleeper as one of the better running backs in the league, but also hidden behind the Mahomes fucking bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was only like last year. He was only as good as he was because he had Helaire in the backfield. So I'm not hating on it. I'm just questioning. Like, here's what I'm going to say about the Chiefs this year: they will win the division if everyone stays healthy. I think if 1 or 2 of those pieces go down, I think the LA Chargers have a chance. Small.
They have a chance. They have a chance. I mean, Nick Wright. Now I didn't watch first things first, but Nick Wright is convinced that they're going to go 17-0, which I think is ludicrous. But it's ludicrous. But I mean, the one thing you can say, they're fucking talented. Kansas City is fucking. They got 7 or 8 legitimate Pro Bowlers on that team. So.
Well, so we picked Kansas City for that one, but the South now, it's in my opinion, this is the weakest division in the AFC. You got
easily.
You got Houston, you got Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee.
It's a 2-horse race.
Tennessee and Indianapolis.
That's it. Yeah.
But
of those two teams, like we talked about Carson Wentz earlier, I ain't sold on him taking Indy anything past barely a 500 record. Then you have
I don't like I don't like Tennessee. Tennessee has always been that one, like even before the whole stuff with Ravens, like before when they play like St. Louis, like the greatest show on turf. Like I never liked Tennessee, so I have a thing about Tennessee, but like their roster is really really good. Them adding Julio Jones, you got Julio Jones on one side, AJ Brown on the next side, and fucking Derrick Henry. Like how do you legitimately stop that? I don't
yes,
know.
but there no like you Derrick Henry. It's funny. It's like watching like a cartoon because he just
I don't know how you stop that.
remember when
Like,
who the guy that we had Legion of Doom, we had him and then he fucked up and beat his wife or something or
Ray Rice?
no we released him last year. They released him. Shoot, why am I forgetting it?
Ravens?
The Ravens, yeah, they released the safety last year.
Oh,
He was,
Thomas.
yes, Earl Thomas. Earl,
Yeah,
fuck, sorry,
yeah,
Earl Thomas. You know what I mean?
yeah. Fucking, he turned him into a blocker for him. He turned him into a fuck. I was so fucking mad.
Remember,
He,
Earl
he
was like, "Oh, we're not afraid of him." This is why I'm putting my hand on my head. We're not afraid of him, and he legitimately,
turned
like,
him into a blocker.
literally, like, you know that. Oh, you fuck.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
like when I take my son. Right now he's at the age I palm his head when I want to
Yeah,
where he goes. That's what the fuck he did to him. So Derrick Henry is out of this world. Where I see Tennessee's weakest shit is their secondary.
defense. Yeah, secondary. Yeah, the
They're
defense is bad.
weak.
Yeah.
They're weak. That's how the Ravens beat them last year,
Mhm.
and that's how they're gonna lose this year, in my opinion. But I
I think they'll win their
they win the
division.
division,
I think
but
they'll win the division.
they won't make it past the first round.
No, I don't think so.
They'll be the fourth seed, have to play on the wild card weekend, and they won't make it past that. They just don't have the defense to do it. And the Ravens exposed it last year.
Yeah,
100% exposed it, and I just like, but adding like saying that they're gonna put up 30 points a fucking game with that offense.
yeah. Like I don't know. Like from somebody who loves defense and loves defensive teams, like I don't know how you stop Tennessee. Like you have AJ Brown, who legitimately is like I believe he's like a top 10, top 15 receiver, and then
Yeah,
you got friggin' Julio on the other side, who if there's no injuries involved, Julio's the best receiver in the game.
yeah,
You got that, and then you got Derrick Henry, who you have to have. Like if you don't stop him before he gets ahead of steam, he's gonna run 6 yards easily. Like 6 yards is the average. You know what I mean? So like
but
I
if you
don't I
play
don't know
him
how you stop that.
physically, you beat him.
Yeah,
The Baltimore,
but like that's what Ravens did. Yeah, Ravens D line, they stopped his feet before his feet can get going. Like they stopped him. They
yeah.
hit him in the backfield.
I saw like as good as he is, like I picked him in one of my fantasy leagues as the fucking first pick. Like I'm not hating on the guy. I think as good as he is, if you put 8 men in the fucking box on him and time it perfectly so that your guys are come in motion and they get in the 8 in the box. You're not all the time. You don't want 8 in the box all the time because Ryan Tannehill with those threats will burn you on the outside. But if they can converge 8 guys onto Henry, like he will be tackled, and it's almost like you said the secret's out with Lamar, and
Hmm.
the secret's out on how to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
You
Like
stop him
you
before
got you got
he gets his feet
before.
going.
Yep, that's it. That's
So
that's how you stop him. Like he's not a multi-layered running back. He's like a put his foot in the dirt, one cut,
yeah,
run downhill, running back. And once his feet are moving, good luck.
yeah. So like that being said, the, they're a tough team to talk about because
Yeah.
they're one hand you're like, well, they don't have the defense to take him there. On the other hand, you look at what they did 2 years ago, and you can't help but say they've added to that, and the secondary hasn't gotten that much better, but it's not the same.
No.
So they could easily somehow win the AFC, in my opinion. They
The
have.
AFC, the whole AFC.
I think so.
I don't know. That's tough.
Because as good as the Ravens did against Tennessee and stopping Henry last year, in the playoffs, Tennessee is a fucking different team,
For sure. Yep. Mhm.
right? And I think there's a sneaking suspicion in my mind. You're looking at a Tennessee and Baltimore or a Tennessee and Kansas City for the AFC Championship.
AFC Championship.
Yes, that's.
I mean, I can see Tennessee getting that far because they have, as you said, they have the threats outside. Now, will their defense stand up?
You don't need.
I don't know. The defense
They're
will.
going to put up 30 points a game.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
as long as they can put up 30 points a game, Derrick Henry takes at least 10 points, running in a touchdown here or there, and then the other guys take care of the rest.
Yeah.
All the defense has to do is not let more than 25 points in. Like, that's how high powered they're. They're more dangerous of a team offensively than Kansas City is, and they're
You
Kansas.
think so?
Yes, I think so. 100%.
I think
Because they're more physical. They can burn you with speed and they can run you over. Whereas
I think they're more diverse. They can beat you in a multitude of different ways that Kansas City can, but I don't think they're as explosive as Kansas City. I think that
I think they're more physical.
yes, they're more physical. Yes,
That's what I mean. So they can play that. You said it just now. You said it. I have it on tape. You said diversity.
Yeah, they're more like
them
Tennessee is more diverse. Yes,
and they have a great coach. Vrabel's doing a fucking good job. So after having
yes,
good seasons, you would suspect that he would be more versatile now, knowing that when like if Tennessee is playing Kansas City in the regular season,
Mhm.
You would know that he would pound Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would take Derrick Henry and pound it down the middle on that team. Whereas when you have the Titans play, say, Baltimore Ravens team of this year, I would actually throw
Mhm.
more. I would challenge the DBs.
100%, yeah.
Right? So I think they have that versatility that is a sleeper in the whole AFC. Right?
That's fair.
Because
No, they're definitely they're not a pushover team.
like
So
who would you say the two top defenses in the AFC? Baltimore.
I mean, I would have said that for sure prior to the injuries, but now I think Pittsburgh is a good defense. Baltimore's a good defense. Denver is a good defense.
New England.
New England, I think, yeah, they could be a good defense. So it's like any of those four. Like, I think Baltimore is still there. I don't know if they're going to be a dominant defense.
Yeah, but
I
okay,
don't
so
know
you
if
take
dominant,
those
but
four defenses now, right?
yeah,
And you put Tennessee in there. They can burn you on all ends of that defense.
all of them, yeah.
Right? That's my
Mhm.
point being said. So, like, I think they're a legitimate top two team, to be honest with you. I think
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
they can do it. I don't want them to.
Yeah,
After
fuck
that
them.
season that they robbed us, I don't want them to. But I think they can do that. I think that Tennessee is a legitimate team. I don't know why the fuck I'm saying it, but I think it's because the Tennessee of this Tennessee team
Right
reminds
about them.
me of the Eddie George versus Ravens rivalry. I think it's that
Yeah,
kind
that
of
too.
team.
Yeah.
So
But if you look at it, Derrick Henry is like fucking Eddie George. Like
yeah,
they're the same kind of big fucking physical running backs. So they're very similar in that respect. And Ravens used to have a lot of great games against those Titans.
So NFC now. Let's start with in my opinion, the most interesting division is the NFC East. I can't believe I'm saying
Mhm.
it was the worst.
Really, most interesting.
I think it's the most interesting because any team there can take that division.
Mine is the Eagles. Eagles are out of that question. I
Yeah.
think personally, Eagles are out of that. I
Any
think
team there can take that division, and that's why it's interesting. Not because like the West, North, and South, you can predict. I can predict those. We're gonna talk about that.
yeah. I mean,
can predict those.
honestly, I think the West is tough too. The West is tough. Like the West, I
don't see
think
San Fran doing shit.
really
Yeah.
they got everyone back. They got Bosa back. They got everyone back.
I
And
don't.
the only question they have is, will Garoppolo be healthy? That's the only question. They have everyone back.
Those guys aren't studs. They're not gonna do it. I don't think San Francisco has it. I just don't. I don't think. I think Kittle is waning in that system. I think he needs to make a move to a team with a more legit quarterback for him. I just don't see San Francisco competing in that division.
That's
But
fair. I mean, I think they're the third best team, but yeah, we'll get to them. Back to the
back
NFC.
so you have the Giants. Now they got fucking Saquon back.
They got Galladay.
Let's talk
They
about
got
Galladay is a fucking injury machine.
he's always injured, but he's a big play receiver. They still have Sterling.
Yeah, and
So they got who's their tight end? Ingram?
yeah, but they lost.
Evan Ingram?
The Ravens got Zettler.
Zettler, yeah.
So how, and Zettler's a really good offensive lineman. So how
Yeah.
strong is their O line gonna be to protect them? But
Oh.
Jones is fucking big, man.
He's decently mobile.
Yeah.
Decently mobile. Like he's not Lamar Jackson, but like we saw plenty of times last year where he's broken big runs. Like I remember who he played, but he had that one run last year. It was like 60 yards, and he like tripped over his own feet and shit.
It might have been against the Jets, though.
Might have been shit. I don't know.
I don't remember, but I know which play you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I see them being an over 500 team. I just don't know if, like we were talking about at the start, if they're any good about any competition to Dallas. I think Dallas is a legit team this year.
This surprised me. Yeah. So like, I think the best defense in that division is Washington. They have easily the best front seven. They have the best defensive player in that division.
Yeah.
So I think their defense can
Chase, right? You're saying Chase.
Yeah, Chase. Yeah, Chase. Chase is the best defensive player in that division, in my opinion. So I think that will be enough. But the problem where Dallas, I think, like Washington's defense is like the best in the division.
Yeah.
But then Dallas defense is not that like they're like half of that. But then you look at the other side of the ball, Dallas's offense is way better than Washington's offense. Like way better.
After watching that first game, where is Zeke? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen.
Yeah, like what? Like 6 carries, 7 carries.
That whole game was a reflection of how good Dak Prescott really is, and that's what I'm gonna say. But if Dallas is going to compete, Ezekiel Elliott's got to fucking show up.
For sure, he has to be a threat. 100%.
Right now, watching that game, like a defense doesn't really look out for him. Like,
no.
He's dangerous, but
he had 4 carries a half.
Yeah. So the only way Dallas will win the division, in my opinion. I think
I think so too.
Win the division. I think like you said earlier, the defense is way better.
Yeah.
Than they were last year. At least they played.
For sure. They played better in that game. Like if Dallas plays like that rest of the season, they're a fucking 11-win team, in my opinion.
Because that game was very close, and it was because of the kicking game that they lost that year. But like, if Zeke shows up, they go really far. If Zeke doesn't show up, but also too, they have a really good backup. Tony Pollard is fucking legit.
Yeah.
And he's a different style of back. So
if
Ezekiel Elliott's performance starts to decline, don't be surprised if they go to Tony Pollard and he starts breaking some.
And they might.
He did it last year when Ezekiel, I think he was injured for a few games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony Pollard, he went off.
Only thing that I'll say to kind of credit Zeke is that even though he might not be a 5-yard running back, like a 5-yard average back anymore, one thing that I saw last night that he did not last night, Thursday night. That he did really well. He pass protects really fucking well. Like if you watch the first quarter of that game, Tampa was fucking sending 6-man blitzes, 7-man blitzes. They're blitzing all over the place, and Zeke was picking up the extra man every single time. So like for somebody who's coming off of injury, like as Dak is, like having that guy who you know is gonna come in and chip the linebacker.
Yeah.
Like I think that's very big. So I think that might just keep him, regardless if he run the ball well or not. I think that might keep him there. But I agree, Pollard is actually a very good. Like he is what Gus Edwards was for us.
Yes, exactly. He's a very good back. So,
Yeah.
I think they take that division though. I don't see
Yeah.
Washington being a tough. They'll be a tough team.
Mhm.
But going back to like some of the politics, their head coach was one of the more vocal coaches, like pro-vaccine and all that shit, and they happen to be one of the lowest uptake teams. So it could be one of those cases again where you have maybe a divided team, a divided locker room in certain issues,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
might be it. And I only say that because their coach was so vocal about it, whereas like other coaches kind of just said it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But
But I think part of the reason why Ron Rivera was so vocal about it because he just came off a battle with cancer, right? So
I
he's at a
understand
different
that.
place. Yeah.
But like, I feel like it was too an emotional investment, and maybe
Mhm.
the low uptake of players wanting to get the vaccine was because of his aggressive nature. Like
Yeah.
look at what like I don't want to get into it because it's fucking Friday night and I don't care about politics. You look at the political landscape; it's the pressure
Mhm.
that pisses
Yeah.
you off, right? It's the pressure that creates. So when a coach is vocal like that on an issue non-football, right? Because they weren't, no coaches were really doing any of that last season with
Prior to.
with the racism stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
That was more of a collective thing. No coach came out and there was
Being
nothing.
vocal about it.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but when you have a head coach, like I'm not trying to pick on any COVID shit, right? But when you have a head
Mhm.
coach that takes a stand, like Bruce Arians does that too
Mhm.
with Tampa. So I'm wondering if that will come into play as
Down
the
the line.
NFL season unfolds, and because politics will come into play in NFL. It's just
Always happens. I
Yep.
think I kind of jump into that a little bit, but like politics and sports will forever be intertwined.
yeah.
So
I'm wondering if a team like Washington it will affect. But I mean, we'll see. I just don't see them have. They have a good team. I don't
they
see
have a
them.
good defense.
Yeah,
They have a good defense. They have some pieces offensively. They have. I don't remember his name, but they have a
McLaurin.
receiver that I like. There's a receiver. They have a receiver I like. So like they have some pieces. Who's their quarterback?
I want to say
Fitzmagic? I believe it's Fitzmagic because it was Alex Smith, and then I'm pretty sure it's Fitzmagic.
Yeah, but yeah, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
he's capable, but he's not gonna.
he's not gonna take them there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not.
I'm looking at their fucking roster right now. There's nothing on their roster, so
No,
I'm not even gonna talk about them anymore. Fuck that. Fuck them.
No. I think, as we said, that division is Dallas's division to lose.
Yes.
But and I say that because Cowboys always, for some reason, whenever you think Cowboys are gonna do really well, they always do something to fuck up and fuck themselves over. So
like the Toronto Raptors. That's
like the Raptors. Yeah.
So
like
going to the West,
always.
we talked about the West a little bit already, but you got Arizona, LA, San Fran, Seattle. That's a
tough division. Yeah,
But-
tough division.
I like LA over Arizona.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I have Rams as number one. Like if you look at what they did, no shade on Jared Goff, like no shade on him. But if you look at what they got to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, like and like, you arguably have the best defensive lineman or best defensive player. He's won DPOY the last 2 years in a row. So you have the best defensive player, and then you have probably
defensive MVP. That guy.
Yeah.
If he's not on some Mexican supplements. I don't fucking know. Jeez, I know us MMA guys. Us MMA guys are on some, like a lot of MMA guys are on some shit. But whatever Donald's fucking on, I want some of that.
No, he's definitely like I saw an interview like last week where he said he fucking benches 500.
Yeah, fuck that
You
guy.
seen that shit?
He's on some
he,
shit.
fuck,
He's
he
I
fucking
remember-
says he benches 500. I'm like, I'm like,
Those
holy
ridiculous
shit.
is that James Harrison. Remember James Harrison? That ridiculous video of him picking up a fucking full bar and like shoulder press.
Yeah.
That's fucking Aaron Donald. He's just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, like Ramscott, like he is the best defense player in the league, and then you got who many would argue is the best cover corner in the league,
Jalen.
and Ramsey, right? So you got those two guys. So I think those are two mainstays of your defense. So like they're gonna be a good team, and people
Matt
forget
Stafford.
I'll say people forget how fucking good Stafford is.
Yes.
Like he was in Detroit. He was wasting away in Detroit. He had Megatron, and he wasted Megatron's talent. That's I would say that. But the 1 year he had a good running back, they were like a 12 win team, or 11 win team. So like,
And I'll say like good receivers like Megatron. For those who don't know what we're talking about, was fucking Calvin Johnson. Like you have to have a good quarterback to make it good. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Calvin Johnson played with Stafford his whole career, correct?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So Stafford, and surprisingly, Stafford's been in the league this long, and
Like 10 years, 11 years.
he's still healthy. So I think you have a veteran quarterback. I compare this situation to like Tom Brady going to the Bucks.
Bucks, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He
Yeah.
doesn't have a championship. He doesn't have I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an MVP.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't have that.
He played.
He's been on losing teams.
He played ridiculously well on a really crappy team, and I think now that you give him these weapons and freedom to throw to anybody he fucking wants to, I think you're going to see a very dangerous fucking football team.
Yeah, no, I think Rams are like people know they're going to be good, but I don't think people don't realize how fucking good Matt Stafford is, and putting him with friggin' Sean McVay, who is like a fucking guru, and just like he's like Andy Reid, like how he friggin'
the young
schemes guys to get open, like
yeah,
like so that putting them together, and then like I think they're gonna surprise a lot of fucking teams. Like they very well might be a 13 win team this year. Like even though that division is gonna be fucking hard as shit to get, like they might split all their games.
Look at Arizona now. No, everyone's big on Arizona because they got J.J. Watt.
Yeah,
but
they got J.J. Watt. They got Chandler Jones.
Chandler wants out. Chandler's not happy.
He does.
And I don't know if you watch All or Nothing on Amazon Prime.
Sometimes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they had Arizona on a few. So I'm going to the management right here.
Yeah.
This one, when they were dealing with that team back in the day, they didn't have a good handling on how to handle like disgruntled players.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to affect how that defense plays, because you have a strong personality in Chandler. And then you have a strong personality in JJ. Can they work together, right?
Yeah.
If
me being a Raven fan, I'm gonna go back to this, but me being a Raven fan, I'm praying that somehow we managed to get Chandler Jones, because we did really well with his brother.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of his other brother, John Jones.
John is a bomb.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of John Jones. So like, I'm praying somehow, some way we managed to get Chandler Jones on the roster, but he is a stud. So.
Yeah, and I mean he's coming back off an injury. I think it was a shoulder injury, a pec.
Yeah. It was pec.
Yeah, I've torn my pec before, so I know he'll be back 100%. It's not a hard injury to recover for, especially from his position. If we were talking like knee or Achilles, I would say something different. But like look at J.J. Watt. He tore his pec a couple years ago and did the surgery and was back within the same season.
Same year, yeah.
He took 2 months, and
we're in that big ass fucking shoulder brace he had on though.
I've had that surgery, so I know that after
2 months, it's not in the same strength range yet, and it's still vulnerable to being retorn. So
Mhm.
Chandler Jones had a full year, so he's gonna be legit. Like he's gonna be healthy. He's gonna be ready to go.
Yeah.
So the problem with Arizona is I'm not sold on Kyler Murray yet.
Wow.
I'm not sold on him.
I like him. I like him. I'm not.
I'm not saying,
I'm not sold on the coach on Kingsbury. I'm not sold on him, but I think Kyler Murray is the real deal. Like if anyone's Russell Wilson, I think he is Russell Wilson because he's Russell Wilson without getting hit. He doesn't get hit.
yeah, but I feel like height is a problem. I feel like he's not.
Yeah, I guess.
No, it's a fucking problem. Like you look at all the better quarterbacks in the league.
6'4", 6'5", yeah.
Yes, and I feel like it's only going to take one good hit to really fuck him up.
I agree, but he doesn't get hit. Like he's like he is like the prototypical quarterback, other than Tom Brady, because Tom Brady will fucking throw it and just drop on the ground. But
Yeah.
like he is like the best quarterback in the league who gets out of the pocket and he'll slide.
But like because he doesn't have the same vision down the field, like he like last year was a little bit better with Hopkins.
Yeah,
But like I feel like he does like he almost throws that ball up into a whole bunch of coverage sometimes because he's not able
sure.
to visually
To see, yeah,
see that depth down the field. I think that's my only knock on him. That's not like I think he's a great quarterback, but because in order to win that division, you're gonna have to throw the ball deep.
100%, yeah.
Right? You're gonna have to beat Jalen Ramsey deep. You're gonna because Aaron Donald is gonna cry. You're not gonna have pocket time, right?
No, you're also gonna have to run the ball. Like you don't have to be a great running team, but you have to run the ball. And like we've seen with the Rams when they lost Cam Akers, they had to go and go get a starting level back because in that division, like every team has a decent secondary, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're gonna have to like kind of control the ball and control time and control the clock to win that division because like Arizona, they just signed this not just now, but they're starting the Steelers running back.
Connor.
They signed him, so like they're trying to run the ball and like you're gonna have to run the ball and be effective running the ball, like not a 5 yard average, but you have to be like 4 yards, 3.5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
In order to kind of win that division because I don't know that division is probably the best division in football, I think.
Yeah, you could be right. And then let's talk about Seattle then. Like Seattle, I don't know. They're always like the team where you're just like they're not that good, but then they win.
I never say that. They're
But like Russell Wilson is fucking good, right? They got Lockett. I think they got Carson back, right? He's healthy.
yeah. They re-signed the linebacker
Clowney,
Bobby Wagner.
Wagner.
Yeah, they re-signed Wagner. So like they're always going to be a threat. They're always a threat, man. Like we have Russell Wilson, and they just extended Jamal Adams, who I wanted the Ravens to go and get. Like they were looking into getting him, but
yeah,
they just extended him. So like they have like 6 Pro Bowlers. Like they're a top heavy team. The only problem that they have, opposite of our Ravens, is like they don't have any depth. If one of their guys get hurt, God forbid any of their guys get hurt, they're in trouble. They don't have any capable backups.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they don't look like when you look at the whole picture of that team,
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, okay, you're good, but it's like if like you said, I take one piece of that thing out, you're
Yeah, they're very top heavy.
Yeah, so I mean, I still pick LA for that division, but I agree.
Me too. Yeah.
I think you can have 3 teams in that division above 10 wins easily.
Yeah, easily. Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if we had all 4 teams 9-10 wins. I would not be surprised because Arizona doesn't have a hard schedule.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't be surprised if we have 9 teams. I mean, not 10, 4 teams above 9 wins. I would not be surprised at all.
Well, you could get. I could see LA taking that, Arizona, and then Seattle possibly taking a wild card spot.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I see that happening because the other teams in the division, like the North, I mean, Green Bay is obviously
Is gonna win. Yeah.
gonna win. Um, Detroit's, I don't know what the fuck to think.
No, they're
I mean, Goff is
that
there
could be.
now, but
Yeah.
I don't think he has any weapons. To be honest with you, they
No,
lost
they
Galladay,
lost Galladay. Yeah.
and they have that Swift running back who's pretty decent,
Yeah.
but
DeAndre Swift. Yeah.
don't have anything. They don't have anything.
No, they'll be a 4, 5, 6 win team. I'm not. They're not gonna be a threat. The team that I'm looking for in that division, who I think will surprise people, because they had last year they had a bad year because of injuries and stuff. But Minnesota is not a bad team,
I thought
bro.
you were gonna say Chicago. I was like, don't say
No, no,
Chicago.
no, no. Not Chicago's defense is really good.
Yes.
Their defense is stout, but offensively, you just don't know what you're going to get with them. Because Allen Robinson, you don't know if he's going to be healthy. You don't know
He has
if
a
Andy
history.
Dalton's going to
He has a history of
injuries.
injuries. But like, no,
Yeah,
starting quarterbacks, Andy Dalton. No hate on Andy Dalton. He had a great career, but like your starting quarterback
I
is
agree.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
It's like Case Keenum.
yeah.
It's like fucking a like they got a Ryan Fitzpatrick
Zach
basically.
Fitzpatrick. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say that.
So
I was going to say that.
like they're not gonna win a game with him leading the team. Like I'm sorry.
No,
Uh,
like just like with 49ers, their whole quarterbacks thing is not. It's not a matter of fact if Fields is going to play. It's not if he's going to play. It's when are they going to fucking man up and make that decision and say, okay, rookie going? Because we all know Trey Lance and Fields they're going to be stars.
yeah.
They're going to be elite quarterbacks. So it's just like if I was a GM, like I wouldn't even think about it. I'm like, hey, Fields, you go out there and do it because you're not going to win meaningful games with Andy Dalton. He's never been like he had like 1 year where all of his receivers were. He had AJ Green healthy. He had all the guys healthy.
Johnson, yeah, they had all
Yeah,
those
he had
guys.
all the guys healthy. Other than that, like he's never been a guy to like get his team over the hump. So like I wouldn't put the ball in his hands. But
Minnesota, yeah, I think you're
that's my
right.
secret. Minnesota, because like they're deep. Like they still have what's that? I don't remember his name, but the guy on the D line who's like Hunter.
Yeah, yeah.
Hunter, like he's phenomenal. They still have Smith back there. They still have Jefferson as like the wideout who's gonna be really good wideout. They got the other guy, Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen, they got Cook. But
They're deep. They're deep,
my
bro.
only thing is Kirk Cousins, as good as he is, he doesn't show up on big games.
At all. At all.
So
Like his like Monday night, Sunday night record is atrocious.
so like beating Green Bay means you have to show up on big games.
Hmm.
So in order for Minnesota to make a splash in that division, in my opinion, the running game has to be feared.
Yeah.
Because if Green Bay can't stop your running game, then it lets Kirk Cousins off the hook and the fact that he doesn't perform in the big games. All he
Yeah.
has to do is make some passes here or there, not fucking
Yeah.
throw interceptions, and
Dink and dunk, yeah.
squeak by. So I think with Minnesota, what you get is if Dalvin Cook has a good year, they have a good
But
year.
he was hurt last year, so hopefully he bounces back and kind of has like a really good year. But I agree, he is definitely the key to that whole offense because if he's the Dalvin Cook that we've seen a year and a half ago
Yeah.
or 2 years ago, if he's that Dalvin Cook, yeah, if he's that Dalvin Cook, then I think they have a chance. Like they're not gonna beat Green Bay,
No.
but they have a chance to kind of make some noise, maybe get a wild card spot. Who knows? But that's my team in that division where I'm like, people are forgetting how good they were 2 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. They were close to Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that was the year the Super Bowl was in Minnesota, and they were like,
that was the year that they lost on that freaking bullshit to the touch. Who was it to? Was it Diggs? No, it wasn't Diggs. Who caught that touchdown? Who caught a touchdown? I want to say Diggs, but I don't think it was Diggs.
It might have been. No, it
Might
was.
have been Diggs. It might have been Diggs actually.
Yeah, it was the push off, wasn't it?
No, it
No,
was the one versus Saints where the guy, the safety jumped in too early, and then
okay, and it was a no call. Yeah, it was a no
no
call.
call. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah. They have a good team, but
yeah.
Green Bay is fucking good. Now the only thing I could say about Green Bay is, will Aaron Rodgers be all in? Because it seemed like during the offseason he wanted out really badly.
He definitely wanted out. The whole thing with that, I believe personally, I believe Aaron Rodgers is going to have another MVP year
Think so?
because as you know, like nothing is more like as a pro athlete, like as somebody who like fights for a living, like you know that like anything that motivates you, like like pushes you to like be more than yourself, like that like Aaron Rodgers has something right now where he's out there to prove the organization wrong. He's been wrong the whole off season. Like I think he's gonna come out and he's be a man possessed, and I feel like he's gonna have a really really good year,
Yeah.
barring any
How
injuries.
many years has he played already? He's played a lot of years.
Like what, 12 years, 13 years? Like he's been in the league for a while for sure.
Like, what is the end game? Like, what is he like? Was he trying to leave and go to another team and try to make more? Like,
I mean, and
he's not
he's
Tom
chasing
Brady.
Tom.
I hate to say it, he's
He's
not Tom Brady.
he's not Tom Brady, but he's chasing Tom right now. He's chasing. Because like
He wants to win another ring. I get that, but
you know
I wouldn't pay him.
them
Put it
losing.
that way. I wouldn't pay him.
Huh?
I wouldn't pay
You
him.
wouldn't pay him?
No, I wouldn't pay him. I wouldn't pay him because he has you have Devontae Adams, legitimately one of the top receivers, and if not arguably top 2 or 3 receivers in the league.
Easily, yeah.
You couldn't do it with him those last 2 seasons. You couldn't. I don't think they. It just depends on his mental state. If he really wants to fucking be there, then they'll win the NFC Championship for sure, or at least compete.
Yeah.
The
They'll
NFC.
be there. But the biggest thing, like I will say this for Aaron Rodgers, like any successful team that wins in the NFL, the NFL is ultimate team. The football is ultimate team game.
Yeah.
Like MMA, it's like you have your trainers and stuff. End of the day, you gotta go out there and fight.
You compete by yourself.
You got to go out there and fight.
You're only as good
Basketball,
you're only as good as your team, but you got to compete by yourself.
you gotta go out there and fight. Basketball, you can be the greatest athlete on the court and get away. Football, you cannot do that. You gotta be 3 phases locked in. Your organization, everything matters in football. So, as good as Aaron Rodgers has been, as good as Devontae Adams has been, as good as what was their back's name? I don't remember their running back's name. Aaron Jones, yeah, as good as like they've had a very good defense with getting the guy from the Ravens, whatever that the guy from
I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Starts with
like
Zed. Right?
Zed, yeah. So getting like
Zadarius Smith.
yeah, and like getting Preston Smith, like you get all these pieces, but the organization has failed Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a Packers fan, but they have failed him. You haven't put anybody else with him to be a threat. Like, yeah, you got Adams and you got Jones, but like he wanted to keep his tight end. He wanted to keep his tight end. You got rid of him. Want to get a wide receiver? You drafted figure Jordan Love. Like nothing to kind of help him out. And it's like as good as he is, he can't do it by himself.
That Love draft was really fucking. It was almost like a punch to the gut. Like, hey,
that was a spit. That was a spit in Aaron Rodgers' face for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's where this animosity came in this offseason, because he's like, hey, fuckheads, you drafted that kid, you wanted him. Like, I want to get paid and I want a championship. I want out.
I want to win now. Yeah.
So, but the thing is I like, as good as Green Bay is, like as good as Devontae Adams is, they don't have anything else offensively.
Nothing
for him. Like
they had a tight end.
What
they had no, they had they had a tight end like 2 years ago. I don't remember his name, but he was like the black. I remember his name. Fuck. Anyways, but he was like a good tight end, and then Aaron Rodgers wanted to keep him, and they let him go.
Yeah. So I mean, they're still a top team in the league. I just going deep into the playoffs. I don't know if they have the depth and the threats to make it past there. But
no.
Saying that, moving on into the other division, their biggest threat over the last couple of years, going deep into the playoffs, was New Orleans.
Tampa and New Orleans. Yeah, New Orleans
I
too.
mean,
Yeah,
it was New Orleans. Like the last, if we look at the last 3 seasons,
years. Yeah,
Green Bay and New Orleans had some good battles, right?
Mhm.
So New
They-
Orleans,
they're taking a step back though.
that's what I was about to say. New Orleans now, they will no longer be. I don't see them making the playoffs this year.
Me either. No,
Uh,
especially since Michael Thomas is not going to be there for like the first
yeah, for a
6
while.
weeks.
What
Yeah, so
is
for
injured all
sure.
year? Is it the same injury from last year as this year?
Yeah. It's his foot. Like he got hurt last year, and instead of him having the surgery early in the off season, he fucking got like 3 and 4 other opinions and waited until like off season was done, and then got the surgery. So now he's going to be out for like another. I believe they said he's going to be on IR until 6 weeks. I believe they said
So like they don't have arguably the top
the
receiver,
best receiver.
in the league,
Yeah,
right?
hmm
And then
they're gonna have to rely on Alvin Kamara, but I think Alvin Kamara is hurt as well now.
but
I think so.
they don't have who's their backup now because Latavius Murray's got. That's
Yeah,
what Latavius Murray is now with Baltimore. So
yeah,
the only reason, like the Saints produce backs, right? You got Alvin Kamara, you had Mark Ingram,
Mark Ingram. Yeah,
you have Latavius Murray. They produce backs, right?
yeah.
So now
That's
with Latavius Murray gone, if Alvin Kamara goes down, you literally don't have a team.
Nobody. Yeah. It's
There's
tough.
nobody there, right? Like when
And
the Ravens, when they lost J.K., you had Gus as a viable option. They don't have the viable option now. He's with the Ravens. He's still got
yeah,
on his legs, right?
yeah.
So I don't see them making it out of this division.
No, I don't either.
Uh,
I got I got Tampa as my leader in the division, but my sleeper in this division that I think will surprise people is Carolina. They're my sleeper. If you look at it, they have 2,000-yard receivers. They have DJ Moore,
yeah, and then they
and
have
they got Ryan.
Anderson.
Robbie Anderson. Yeah, they got those two with 1,000-yard receivers, and they got back fucking Christian McCaffrey. He's healthy this year, and they're starting who I think who's a good quarterback. He is playing on a shit team. Fucking what's his name from the Jets?
Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Darnold. Yeah. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So
they're a well coached team. They're a very well coached team. I think the biggest thing is can McCaffrey not get hurt again?
Yeah, stay healthy. Yeah.
I think with because like I went heavy on Carolina in fantasy the last two seasons because those guys were just available.
Beast. Yeah.
And like Robbie Anderson, he's good, but he needs the ball to get to him. That's the kind of he's not a dominant kind of receiver.
No.
Where his physical presence is felt on the field.
Neither is Moore.
No, Moore had a hard time getting deep. Like he was supposed to be a deep threat, and he wasn't getting deep. So if McCaffrey can stay healthy and free those guys up,
changes things up for sure. He does.
Because McCaffrey healthy, all eyes are on him.
Yeah, McCaffrey healthy is the best back in the league.
Yes, exactly.
We're not. Yeah, that's not debate. Like his running ability and his ability to catch out of the backfield. Yeah. Like he's the best back in the league when he's healthy. So
like if McCaffrey's healthy and you get Sam Darnold and you've given him a team of weapons.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even talk about the Jets because that's how shitty the Jets still are. They still are that shitty. They go through the whole offseason and they're still shit. So who's the starting quarterback? I don't fucking know. Like
it'll be freaking the rookie from BYU, Zach Wilson.
There you go. Jets, right? So like with Sam Darnold now, he's actually a quality quarterback. He could be good. He could be really good. So I think now is the chance for him to see like how really good he is. You got two really good receivers
and a star running back.
So I mean,
this is a year like he was in Jets for what, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And this is a year like this is his season-defining year. Like just how Baker had his his career-defining year last year. If Baker didn't play good last year, Baker was done.
Yeah.
He was done. And I think this year with Sam Darnold, he has that same thing where like, no one's expecting him to make playoffs, but you're expecting him to be productive with 2,000-yard receivers and the best running back in the game and a decent O-line. You're supposed to throw for 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. As you're supposed to get
Here's
that.
a knock on Carolina, though. They don't have a defense. They don't have a strong.
Yeah, that's true as well.
So
Yeah.
I would classify Carolina similar to Tennessee, where if they can put up 30 points a game with what they have, but Tennessee has a quarterback that's proven himself.
Yeah.
You know
He's proven, especially in the last. Like Tannehill prior to Tennessee, he was a joke in Miami.
Yeah,
he was a joke. But coming to Tennessee and being with Arthur, whatever I remember his fucking name, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Being with him, he opened up his game. So I think hopefully Darnold has the same experience. Hopefully, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But like. Yeah, I think they'll do all right, but they have to put up more than 20 a game. Like
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Their defense is not
for sure.
Their defense is not there. So we just did the whole NFL. So
I mean, I will say this: like my boys' team is Atlanta, and I think Carolina is my sleeper in that division. But Atlanta could also be very good in that division as well. Like they're not gonna win a lot of games, but Ridley is a very good receiver, and them getting Kyle Pitts, like Kyle Pitts could like. I didn't see a lot of him in college. Like I watched a few games from him in Florida, but everybody's saying that this guy is already a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
And he hasn't played a game yet. So if he is that, I don't know.
But I'll say this too: they have Hayden Hurst, who's actually a pretty good tight end as well.
He was on the Ravens, yeah.
I just don't see them. I see them being a 500 team, if that.
Yeah.
I see them playing very.
I see that too. Yeah.
Very similar to last year. I think they need a year or two. They're like a young LA Chargers, like when Chargers moved, kind of. You know what I mean?
They are, but like they have a big cap hit. Like Matt Ryan is like he can still like 4,500 yards. But like they're gonna have to make a choice on him really soon. Like, are they gonna stay with him because he's gonna be really expensive? Are you gonna stay with him or not gonna stay with him? Like they got choices.
I would classify Matt Ryan the same way I talked about Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers, yeah.
I wouldn't pay him. I don't think he.
I wouldn't pay him either. I mean, I would pay Aaron Rodgers. I'd pay Aaron Rodgers. I would not pay Matt Ryan.
No, and so I think Matt Ryan, this is his last chance. Because even if he somehow miraculously gets Atlanta out of this division into a playoff position, no one's going to pay him.
No
one's going to pay him. It's just simple. So it's his last chance.
And it's tough. Like right now, we are in the golden era of quarterbacks. And I say that because you look at every team in the NFL, they have a good young quarterback.
Yeah.
And like for Matt Ryan, like if he say he flames on in Atlanta, like where is he really going to go?
He's like Joe Flacco.
Like he can't go.
He's like Joe Flacco.
I mean, well, he's way better than Flacco, but
No, but he's like once you left the team that you
did well with, yeah.
You're kind of just flying under the radar after that. That's how I see him when I say Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Like,
but even with like a guy like Cam Newton, Cam is not a bad quarterback. Like he you look at his numbers last year. Like after he got hit with COVID, he played well.
Yeah.
Right. So like, well,
Cam. Do you see anyone picking up Cam?
I was saying like I don't think there's not a market for these guys because every team has a guy. Like Jacksonville is trash. They got Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Jets are trash. They got Zach Wilson. Like maybe Houston if they get rid of Deshaun Watson, but whoever get like that's the only team that I see. Maybe Indianapolis if Wentz gets hurt.
So, yeah.
Maybe Philadelphia if Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew plays bad, but like there's not a lot of teams out there that are looking for a quarterback. Everyone is kind of like
Set.
sealed up with set with a quarterback. Yeah,
So yeah, well, I mean, I like Cam. I should say that.
me too. Me too.
But I don't see him playing football this year.
I think his career is done.
You think so?
Sad
Yeah.
to say. Sad to say. I because like this year coming up, this is a pretty good draft with quarterbacks too. So like the quarterback position is getting younger and younger. Like you look at the AFC.
Yeah.
AFC got like so many young quarterbacks like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Baker, friggin' Trevor Lawrence. They got all these young quarterbacks. So it's like there's not a lot of like Brady, Wilson, Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Stafford. Those are like the old quarterbacks left.
Generation, yes. Yeah.
That's it.
But like, okay, so we did the whole NFL now. So like, objectively speaking, like, or sorry, non-biasedly speaking, because both of us said Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Who are the top 4 teams? So top
Right now?
top AFC, top 2.
Right now?
Going the top 4.
I got KC, and like I want to say Cleveland because Cleveland top to bottom the roster is stacked, but I haven't seen it. So I haven't.
Cleveland, huh?
No, I don't like Cleveland. I don't. But like, how could you argue their roster? They have their offense has two of everything. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They got Jarvis Landry and Odell. They got friggin' two tight ends. They got a really good offensive line. Like top to bottom, they're stacked. The only question with Cleveland is Baker a good quarterback? That's the only question you have.
I'm gonna say, and
that's the only question you have with them.
As good as he played last year, like I want to take the Ravens game.
Yeah,
because that was
his best game, I think.
His best game of the year, and that was the turning point for them beating. Like they lost that game against Baltimore, but they started beating the fuck out of every team, and then they
destroyed Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I take the best game that they played.
Mm-hmm.
The best game that they played, Baker Mayfield threw quite a few turnovers.
Yeah. He had the one throw. Yeah.
The only reason that game was as wild as it was is because the defenses just dropped the ball on both ends that fucking night.
Well, I mean, Ravens were up by like 2 touchdowns, and then Lamar got hurt.
Yeah, but
and then Browns went on a run.
Right, so Baker Mayfield is only as good as the defenses he plays against.
I agree. Yeah.
So to put them in the top, like
I'm saying I wouldn't put them there because I haven't seen them do it. But if their roster is, I would argue they have the best roster in the AFC. I argue that, but I haven't seen them do it. So I'm like, so I would have Kansas City, and I'd have the Bills. Me being objective, as much as I want to say Ravens, I think Ravens can be there. I just don't know how they do it without their second best corner, their whole running back group. Like I don't know how they do it. So as much as I want to say they can be there, and I believe they can be there, I believe they can still beat any of those teams. I don't know. I don't objectively see that happening. So I'll put Kansas City, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. That's my 4.
Hey, say Tampa, huh?
Yeah, Tampa, Green Bay. Yeah, I think Tampa returned they returned 10 out of 11 starters on offense. Their defense is still really good. Like, granted, their safeties got hurt. They had like 2 injuries to their safeties last night, but I think Tampa is still up there. Green Bay, like I think the NFC is pretty. It's pretty.
It's a stack.
It's stacked, yeah. So like you can like I could put LA in there, but I don't trust Matt Stafford over.
Okay, here's my.
You have.
I go for AFC. I say Tennessee.
Yeah, you said Tennessee. Yeah, you said that.
And I say Baltimore.
for those
I'm
two.
not mad at it.
Okay?
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not saying Baltimore because I'm being biased. I'm saying I'll address that in a second. And for the NFC, I'm going to say LA,
I'm not mad at it. Yeah.
and I am also going to go with Tampa, but I don't think Tampa will win. But okay, let me go back to Baltimore, and I'm not being biased. Fuck everyone if you think I'm being biased. I'm not being fucking biased. Okay? I look at the what's happening right now, and I look at last year. I said this before, and I'll say it again. Last year we had like 20 guys sick with
COVID
COVID
this.
gone.
Yeah.
And Lamar still found a way to win games using his feet. I think he throws the ball well, and I think he throws it a lot
Well enough.
better than people think. I think
Yep.
Mark Andrews, the reason he just got paid is because he's that good. I think
For sure, he's that good.
I think Lamar connects with Mark Andrews on like 12 to 15 touchdowns this season, and I think that Hollywood is not going to be the primary thing, but I think that you have two small, fast receivers now that can go downfield, and I also think Porsche is pretty damn good. So I think, despite the injury,
People are not talking about Porsche is good, but people are not talking about Devin Duvernay. Like he is fucking legit. He
But-
just doesn't get a lot of touches in the offense, but he's legit.
and then the signing today of Latavius Murray. Okay? So Latavius Murray to me reminds me of when we signed McGahee that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
McGahee had such a long, good career with Buffalo, and then he came
yeah.
out. Right?
And he was very productive.
Yeah. So Latavius Murray doesn't have to do much. He
No.
just has to maybe get 50 to 60 yards a game. And he could possibly do that the way he runs and the way we have an offensive line now. So that's why I picked Baltimore. And it's not going to be Baltimore on a landslide way. It's going to be Baltimore on a gritty.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
season, and
for sure.
towards the end, they get hot. That's why I say that. But then Tennessee, as we mentioned before, I just see them being a high-powered offense. And
Yeah.
as good as Kansas City is, I don't think they have a defense to stop them.
No, they don't have a defense. They're definitely offense heavy.
Yeah. So
For sure.
I want to go Kansas City, but I don't think after the Super Bowl last year, I don't think they do. I think they get back to the playoffs, but I don't think they get that deep.
A lot of teams who go to the Super Bowl and get embarrassed in the Super Bowl, they don't do well the next year.
Yes.
It happens to a lot of teams.
Well, look at San Francisco with
Yeah.
Kaepernick, right?
Yeah.
So those are my two picks for the AFC. The NFC, I picked the Rams.
Mhm.
I think the opposite of you. I think Stafford is good enough to get it done. I think he has the team around him to do it, the right coach to do it.
It does so.
They've been a successful team.
Yeah.
They were in the Super Bowl. They've been a good team, right? And I think they go to the NFC Championship. I think they go over the Packers for sure.
Packers.
I don't.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
And Tampa, like the only reason you say Tampa is because of
Brady. Yeah.
After watching that Cowboys game, I don't know about them.
Yeah.
They go far because they have all the tools still. They won a Super Bowl and they didn't have a lot of turnover. So that's the only reason I say them going that far.
Mm. And like what they relied on last year was their defense.
Yes.
Their defense was very, 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 very good last year.
That's the only reason they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Defense was very, very, very good. And what I saw last night, I don't know what to credit that to. I don't know if to credit that to Dallas being a better offense than expected, or Tampa Bay just being still Super Bowl drunk. I don't know what to credit that to, but that wasn't the defense that I saw for the last 8 games of last year.
The only thing I would say that is massively different this season is that Antonio Brown actually looks like Pittsburgh Antonio Brown again.
Yeah, he does.
So if Tom Brady and Antonio Brown actually get a love relationship going on and start humping each other with the throw of the ball, then that is a problem. Because after what I saw last night, Evans is not as elite as everybody thought he was.
But even without Evans, they have fucking 4 legit wideouts, bro. They got Mike Evans,
too. They got
they
Godwin.
got Godwin, they got AB, and they got fucking Scotty Miller. They got like 4 legit receivers.
Yeah. So
Plus they got Gronk. Plus they got OJ Howard. Like they're stacked offensively.
Played well yesterday. He looked very much like the connection of when they were in New England.
Yeah, like they're stacked. And then running back, they got Rojo. They got fucking
Fournette.
what's his name? Fournette. They got Fournette. Yeah, like they're offensively, they're fucking stacked, bro.
I mean,
they're stacked.
I'm not hating on it. I think it just depends on how well those receivers play.
For sure.
Because after watching that Super Bowl, Tom made some sketchy plays in that Super Bowl.
I mean, even last night, he had what? He had 2 picks last night.
Yeah, something.
2
like
picks.
Yeah, at least one.
Yeah.
But like,
he had at least 2 picks because he had the one at the end of the half, and then he had the one that went through Godwin's hands, and no, not Godwin. It was
Evans.
Fournette. No, Fournette. It went through Fournette's hands, and then Diggs caught it. So like he had 2 picks for sure, and then Rojo got a fumble, and so did fucking Godwin got a fumble. So those are the 4 takeaways that they had last night.
Yeah. So I see them going for. You just have to. I just can't not pick Tom Brady. Like,
yeah, it's tough. Like, as much as I don't fucking like him,
why don't you like him? I like him.
I don't like him because he's been responsible for a few losses for the Ravens down like in the past. Like back when we should have beat them in New England when fucking Lee Evans dropped that pass.
When Billy fucking Cundiff.
Yeah. Billy Cundiff missed that. Yeah, like fucking like it's just been a few games where I'm like, fuck this guy. But but I can respect him. Like he like I can't cheer for him because he's just done a lot of damage to me and my heart over the last few years. But you have to respect him. He is the fucking GOAT. He is like unlike basketball where you can debate who it is, Jordan, LeBron. You can debate. There's no debate in football. Tom Brady is the fucking GOAT.
Yes.
Period.
100%. So broke down the whole fucking NFL. That was fucking fun as shit.
For sure.
Before we wrap this shit up, like you said, Aaron Rodgers was your MVP. Who do you like? MVP
this year?
Yes.
It's tough. Like a part of me, honestly, with everything going on, like I really feel like Lamar Jackson has a chance to be MVP again this year. Because MVP is about storyline and like how things play out. Obviously, your stats are involved as well, but it's about storyline. And I think with everything going on with the Ravens injuries the first 6 weeks of the year, if Lamar Jackson can somehow get this team to 12-5, 13-4, around there, which I think that's possible.
Yeah.
If he can get them to there, I think he's gonna have his numbers are gonna have to be better because running back is gonna be down, his receivers are gonna be down for the first 4 weeks. So I think if he can do that, he is an MVP candidate. I think Aaron Rodgers is also a candidate, but if I had to put my money on something, I'd put my money on Lamar Jackson for MVP this year. That's where I put my money.
Bold. I think you could be right, but then it's hard to say because like MVP is a hard one to say at other positions other than quarterback because that's traditionally how MVP kind of goes.
How it is, yeah.
But going back to Green Bay, I also think Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the league with Thomas out. So if Aaron Rodgers can launch that ball to him, I think he's the best fucking player in the league this year.
I mean, I don't doubt it. Like, receiver is so it's tough to call receiver and say who's the best because like there's so many good receivers who are different.
Yeah.
Like Tyreek Hill is like over the top, burn you you can't you can't press him because he's just gonna
Devontae Adams puts up numbers.
numbers, but so does D Hop. He puts up numbers. So it's like it's tough. Like Adams is like he's there, and Michael Thomas is there too. But like it's so tough to like say who the best receiver is. Like quarterback is so easy. Running back you can kind of picture that, but quarterback receiver is like it's tough. It's tough.
I
But
say
Adams
Adams.
is nice.
I say Adams. I say that it's going to be a receiver this year. And I think it's going to be ridiculous. Like because like you kind of said, Aaron Rodgers has some. This is his last kind of thing. I don't think he can go to another team and be the same Aaron Rodgers. Like he couldn't do what Tom Brady did. You know what I mean? And where Tom Brady went to Tampa and won a championship. So
I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Brady is, just in regards to his mechanics and how he throws the ball and just he throws it so effortlessly. I'll say that, but Aaron Rodgers is nothing like the leader Brady is. Brady is a leader of men. Like he's one of those guys that like he gets the most out of everybody around him. Like he had Wes Welker, he had fucking other guy, Danny
Amendola.
Amendola. He had like he's always had guys who's around him who's he utilized the most of their ability. Sonny Michel, who was like MVP Super Bowl, like he had all these guys around who he got the most out of them. So I think he is a better leader.
No,
But
I get what you're saying. Yeah, there you go, man. That was fucking 2 hours, brother.
That's good, man. I can talk football all the time, man. Football is one of those things where it's like it's so multifaceted. Like there's so many things going, so many stories going on, so many. It's like when you have like what 53 man, 63 man rosters, like
Yeah,
there's so much there's so much stuff going on. Like you could talk football for hours, and like especially now since like it just started, injuries going on, people coming back from injuries, new storylines. It's
in the middle
it's
of a pandemic still too.
middle of a pandemic. This is like people love Christmas, but football season is the best time of the year for me personally.
Yes, like you know, like when you go back, like for me, it's like you go back to school, like when September rolls around. Like when I was a kid, like I remember like September rolls around. There's certain shows you watch after school. Like
Yeah.
there's that tradition. When fall hits and you're in September, it's football season.
Football season,
It's
100%.
football, and like especially like I always tell people like I'm a Canadian, but I'm really like a Texan. You know what I mean? Because I like fist fighting people. I recently bought a bow, so I like shooting shit.
Nice.
I don't give a fuck about violence. I'm a fucking like I'm a tech. And
Yeah.
what's the biggest thing in Texas? Texas fucking football. So
Football,
right?
yeah.
So it's something about September when football season rolls around. I think it will be an interesting season because other than the great teams and everything playing part, I think the world is in a different place right now than it was last football season. So with all the turmoil that's going around, I wonder how it will affect the thing about the NFL, which people don't realize, is the NFL. They literally control a day of the fucking week.
I tell people all the time, NFL is the only sport in the world to do this. Sunday is football. Like no one else does that, and that's crazy. Like they own a day.
And they literally
that's crazy.
And somebody told this to me. I don't know where I heard it, but they literally told the church, "We're taking this day." Sunday and for the history of mankind,
crazy.
Sunday was go to church. It's time for Jesus. They literally said, "Move aside, bitches." It's Jesus first, and then you're gonna watch some fucking football. 1 o'clock. You better
it's like, but football is a whole day because, like, for me on the West Coast, like, the earliest game I see is 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
For me, right? So most times Ravens are usually around that 1 o'clock window.
Yeah.
So usually I'm getting up to watch the Ravens at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then if I want to watch the late game, that's like a 6:30, 7:30 game. So it's like football is literally the entire day on Sunday. Like it's the entire fucking day. Like
It's on. It's on.
it's crazy how they do that.
At our house, it's on in the background. Even if I'm not watching the game,
It's on.
on Sunday. It's on in
Yeah,
the
it's
background.
on for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't even give a fuck about Tampa and Dallas.
But I watched it.
Yesterday, or on
I watched
Thursday,
it.
I fucking got home. Like, yo, turn on the game.
Yeah.
Start up my
Me too.
DAZN description, babe. Let's watch the game, right?
Me too. Yeah.
That's like I don't know. There's something about the sport that's it might just be that I am addicted to concussions and I like seeing people get.
I don't know. Like those who know me know that like I basketball is my first love. Like I love basketball.
Yeah.
But football is like the only sport you can watch football and I'm like literally like sweating watching the fucking game. I'm like throwing shit in the house. Like I figured through like fucking when I remember like 2 years ago when fucking CJ Mosley picked off Baker in like the last game to like send it to the playoff.
And that was when Pittsburgh was watching on the screen, right?
Yeah. Like I figured through my chair across the living room. Like I was so excited. And like as much as I love basketball, I'm never that emotional watching basketball.
Well, like when I met my wife, I told her this story, and this is a good way to end the podcast on. But when I met my wife, I told her like I forgot what year it was. It might have been 2011 or 2012. When I think we just talked about it when Baltimore had such a fucking great team. They had a great team, and it's the AFC Championship against Tom Brady.
Denver? Oh, Tom Brady. Okay, yeah.
Tom Brady and Billy fucking Cundiff.
Fucking Cundiff, yeah.
And he misses.
Sorry to tell you. This is the reason we went out and got Justin Tucker. For this purpose. Yes. This is the reason why. This is the reason why.
He misses the field goal, right?
Yeah.
He misses the field goal. And
you gotta back a little bit because he missed a field goal, yes. But the reason he missed a field goal is because Lee Evans dropped the fucking touchdown.
Yes. Lee fucking Evans. He didn't work after that game. He didn't work again in the NFL.
Oh, he was done. He was done for that. Yeah.
But I tell my wife when Billy Cundiff missed that field goal, I laid on the floor. I was living at my parents' house. I laid on the floor with my head in between my crotch for 10 minutes. And my mom said, "Hey boy, get the ball off the floor." And the guy in his ass should get off the floor. I'm like, "No, I'm devastated."
Devastated, bro.
That was, I told my wife, and I'll never forget that. I'll tell my kid. I'm gonna tell my son that story.
Never.
That was because I thought we were gonna win that year. That was the fucking year. But
my story that I have that I'll never ever forget is the touchdown from the Miracle in My Hat. I will never like if my sister's watching this, she'll comment and she'll laugh. But like I'm at home watching. My mom doesn't know nothing about football. She doesn't know nothing about fucking football. Yeah. And I'm at home at my parents' house, and fucking Jacoby Jones caught this fucking pass, and I'm in my living room jumping and screaming. And like fuck, it was a late game, so I'm watching it at like 11 o'clock at night, watching this shit, jumping and screaming, and I'll never forget that. That is probably like that to me surpasses the Super Bowl win. Like that moment I felt, and that catch surpasses the Super Bowl win versus San Fran. It surpasses the 2000 win. That was like the best feeling I've ever felt.
The same thing. When he caught that pass. I screamed. I was wearing I'm in my boxers and my underwear wearing that. I screamed and I ran around the house 3 or 4 times. Like I remember my dad's like, "What the hell is wrong with my?" But that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't remember the Super Bowl.
No, I don't.
I remember they had a blackout and all that shit.
I remember the one play that Jacoby Jones got after halftime. Yeah, I remember that just because he did the Ray Lewis celebration. I remember that moment, but other than that, I don't remember Super Bowl.
I don't remember the Super Bowl. I remember that game, and like from now until the day I die, hopefully that's like a long fucking time from now. But who knows what shit I do to my body? I will remember that. That's the power of football right there, and I think every football fan has one of those moments, no matter which team that they have.
Yeah, that they'll never forget.
Yeah, amazing, man. We just did over 2 hours.
For sure, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for doing this, brother.
No problem. Whenever you want to have me on, bro.
Yeah, man, we'll keep.
Whenever you grinds my gears, man.
Yeah, we gotta do some other topic shit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with it.
All right. Tell everybody how they can see you on social media and
Yeah. So my IG is real_deal_Francis, and also I have my own podcast with a few friends where we talk about culture and hoops and comedy called The Chat Room. So you can follow us on Instagram on the.chatroompod. Yeah, we drop episodes every Tuesday. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
there you go. Check it out. So thanks everybody for joining me for another episode of Grind My Gears. This was a football one, and it was fucking fun, and we're gonna do it again.
For sure.
All right, man.
Go Ravens.
Go Ravens. Go
Go
Ravens.
Ravens. Yes,
Peace
sir.
out, everybody. All right,
Hey everybody, thank you for watching. Please do me a favor, click the like below, share on YouTube, share on Instagram, share on Facebook, spread the word so I can keep creating more content for you and keep providing you with a great podcast experience. Peace out.